Imagine being pinned down and attacked by someone, and instead of fighting back or running for your life, you start laughing uncontrollably. You are literally begging the person to stop, gasping for air, while sounding like you are having the time of your life. This is one of the most confusing biological glitches in the human body. It is known as the Tickle Paradox, and it reveals a strange truth about our evolutionary history and how our brains handle social contracts. We usually think of laughter as a sign of joy or humor, but tickling subverts that entirely. It is a physical attack on our most vulnerable spots that forces a reaction we cannot control. Most of us misunderstand tickling as a playful game, but the data suggests it might actually be a survival mechanism hidden behind a mask of comedy. We often project a sense of fun onto it, but for the person being tickled, it can feel like a high-stress ordeal they can't escape. This creates a massive curiosity gap. Why would evolution wire us to giggle when someone is technically assaulting our vital organs? To understand how bizarre this is, we have to look at where it happens on the body. Tickling almost always occurs in the same specific areas: the armpits, the ribs, and the soles of the feet. From a survival standpoint, these are some of your most vulnerable spots. Your armpits and ribs protect your heart and lungs, and your feet are essential for mobility. In the wild, nature is an outrageous laboratory where any weakness can be fatal. If a predator grabs you in these spots, it's usually game over. So your body has a built-in alarm system that makes these areas incredibly sensitive to touch.
But here is where the reasoning system of the brain gets messy. According to the tethered mind hypothesis, our high-level logic is built on top of ancient instinctive systems that often override our common sense. When someone attacks your ribs, your sensory cortex and thalamus pick up the signal. Your amygdala, which determines possible threats, may initially decode this as danger. This triggers a flash of the fight or flight response, flooding your system with adrenaline. But because you are in a safe social setting, your brain encounters a conflict. The laughter isn't a sign that you're having fun. It's a biological panic button that signals a bizarre blend of submission and stress. We can see the evolutionary roots of this behavior by looking at our closest relatives. Baby chimpanzees, for example, have been observed laughing when they are about to be tickled. They actually start giggling before anyone even touches them. This suggests that the response is pre-programmed and serves a purpose beyond just reacting to touch. Scientists think tickling might be an ancient defense training system. By being tickled as a child, you are essentially practicing how to protect your most vital areas in a safe environment. The laughter acts as an incentive to keep the training going, even though the sensation is technically stressful. It is a prime example of the brain's capacity for adaptation and resilience. Another story comes from the world of human psychology and the cellular substrate of loneliness. We are creatures of socialization, and connection is a basic biological necessity, just like food or water. Tickling might be nature's way of forcing us to bond with each other. Because you cannot tickle yourself, you are biologically required to interact with another living being to trigger this specific response. It is a biological contract that forces physical contact and social play, which are essential for building the cohesive groups that allowed humans to survive throughout history. But here is the twist that will blow your mind. We have fallen for a nominalist fallacy, confusing the word for the reality. We call the reaction laughter, so we assume it means happiness. But in reality, it is much closer to a compulsion, similar to the involuntary tics seen in Tourette syndrome. It is an irresistible urge that pushes the body into a state of zombie mode, where your rational mind is no longer in control.
You are beguiled by your own body into a state of safe pain. This is similar to the duck syndrome, where someone appears to be gliding effortlessly, or in this case, laughing joyfully, while underneath they are frantically struggling to stay afloat and breathe. The mystery of the Tickle Paradox is a symbol of the fascinating labyrinth that is the human mind. It reminds us that our brains are still tethered to ancient, visceral instincts that we don't fully understand. We are the only species that has turned an ancient defense drill into a bedtime ritual with our children. It shows that evolution doesn't always reward the most logical behavior. Sometimes it rewards the glitch that keeps us connected. We live in a world where 90% of the ocean is unexplored, yet the 3 pounds of gray matter inside our own heads might be even more mysterious. Next time you're being tickled and you're gasping for air while laughing hysterically, remember that your body is currently performing an ancient survival dance. You are experiencing a biological hack that was designed to save your life and keep you from being lonely. You are an apex predator that is biologically incapable of ignoring a feathery touch to your ribs. It is a beautiful, messy contradiction that makes us uniquely human. If you could turn off your tickle response forever, would you do it to gain total control over your body? Or do you think you'd miss the weird, forced connection it creates with others? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and tell me where your most dangerous tickle spot is.